Welcome to episode 2 of Binging with Brandon. Every week, I'm going to be sitting down with a special guest. We are going to watch a movie and we're going to enjoy a meal that somehow ties into the movie. Today, I have a special guest with me. Her name is Chelsea.
Hey.
So, Chelsea goes all the way back with me. Chelsea, when did we first meet?
When I was born.
Yeah, we met when she was born. So, Chelsea is my cousin. You want to know which side she's my cousin on, like mom or dad?
Neither.
Neither. Do you guys have friends like that where you're like friends, but you're cousins because you've known each other your whole life?
Like we're cousins by choice.
Yeah, we're cousins by choice. So like it's so much easier than my mom was her mom's best friend all the way through like their teenage years, and her grandparents raised my mom, and stuff like that. So we share grandparents. Her grandparents are my grandparents, but we're not actually related, but we're cousins. It just makes the most sense.
It matters. Okay, it counts.
That's what counts. So today we are going to be watching one of our favorite childhood movies. This movie, I was completely obsessed with this movie when I was growing up. These people in general, I was obsessed with everything about this. Chelsea, what movie are we watching?
The Cheetah Girls.
Okay, so I don't know how the closet was not completely invisible for me growing up, but
it was.
it was an invisible closet. But I was obsessed with this movie. So today we're going to get into it. We're going to talk a little bit about what this movie is and stuff like that. And we're going to be enjoying a meal today. Today what I prepared is a lemon caper chicken with an Alfredo pasta on the side. Ooh. And some toast. So once we watch the movie, we'll come back and talk about why that's what we made. So a little bit about this movie. So this movie came out. Can you guess how long ago?
20?
Yeah, this is the 20-year reunion, or the 20-year anniversary of this movie is August like the 9th or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so this movie has been out for 20 years. So this is kind of like an anniversary edition of this podcast. So 20 years ago, we sat in the living room and danced to these songs and watched this movie.
Went to the concert.
We went to the concert.
The concert had floor seats.
Oh yeah, we were in there. And we're gonna get into the concert and stuff after because I want to talk about that. But so this movie is a Disney Channel original movie that stars Raven-Symoné, Keely Williams, Adrienne Bailon, and Sabrina Bryan. This was the first ever Disney Channel original movie that was a musical. It was executively produced by Whitney Houston, and it broke the record for the most views of a premiere for the Disney Channel at the time. It later got broke by High School Musical after that. But this movie set the standard for the Disney Channel movies to come, like High School Musical and Teen Beach Movie and Zombies and all of the Camp Rock and Lemonade Mouth. And, there was no other musical movie before this.
This was still like top tier. High School Musical, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, High School Musical reached a broader audience, I think, but
this is like top tier. Like you can't.
Yeah, the music in this one was like, it was actually really good for a Disney movie,
the music, the story.
But with that being said, we're going to get into some food. We're going to watch this movie, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Okay, so before we get into the movie today, I wanted to make sure that we take time to acknowledge that SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild of America is currently striking. Mm-hmm. Have you heard about that?
I know that they're on strike, but I haven't really done a lot of research into it. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. So basically there's a few things that are happening that that they're striking. So their contracts are expired, and a couple of things they're pushing for is that they don't want artificial intelligence to become
Okay.
like a issue. They don't want the corporations to be able to use their likeness as they see fit
Yes.
without their permission.
Absolutely.
And they're pushing the corporations are pushing for them to basically give up their right to their image.
The right to like what they look like
yeah, so like they
faces
could
and
use them.
stuff?
Have you seen do you watch Black Mirror?
I know I haven't watched Black Mirror. I've heard some weird. Sometimes I just have like a really there's a line I don't cross, and I've heard about this one episode in it, so I haven't watched it.
Gotcha. So it's anthology, but the most recent season features an episode where actors there's like a Netflix that's in Black Mirror universe,
right. Yeah.
where actors basically have lost their rights to their image, and so Selma Hayek is playing this lady.
Okay.
And she's like, well, they say, well, you agreed when you signed up for Netflix that we could use your image to our however we see fit, the user. And so Selma Hayek's character, which is Selma Hayek,
yeah,
has given up her image for them to use as they see fit. So they have Selma Hayek playing the girl, but then it's crazy. It's hard to explain
I might have to watch it.
It's kind of, you could watch that episode. There's no like trigger warnings that I mean, not really that you can, at least that I can remember.
Right.
But anyways, it very much depicts basically what the writers and the actors are striking about right now, is because they don't want artificial intelligence. Writers don't want the artificial intelligence writing scripts.
No.
The actors don't want.
So weird.
The actors do not want their image used without their permission.
Because all this AI stuff has been going around, and like.
I mean, I've done it. I'm guilty of doing the images, and they look. I mean, for the most part, like me. You know what I'm saying? There's some wonkiness to.
Well, I've done like the cartoon ones because I wanted a for our like game for all my games that I play. I wanted like a cartoon version,
like an avatar.
Yeah, that's silly, but like whatever.
No, yeah, I love it.
But what? So like people are actually trying to do this to these actors?
So the biggest thing is, like when you're watching a movie and you see people in the background and they're like eating and talking, but you don't know what they're saying.
But
they're just background actors.
Yeah.
They want to scan these backgrounds.
So they don't have to pay them.
So they don't have to pay them. They said they'll pay them 1 day's worth of work to basically own their image forever and use it any way they want to.
1 day of work.
$200.
You are
kidding and then never have to pay them again, and just put their images in the background, and make them artificially generate or whatever. Yeah, that's what they want to do. And then on top of that, it's the streaming aspect of things.
Okay.
So think about YouTube. YouTube. You go there, you can see 2.5 million views.
Yes.
Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. You can't see it. You can't see it, but they'll say stuff like #1 TV show in the U.S. or whatever.
Yeah, they could be lying.
They could very well be lying, but if they're not lying and it's the #1 show, then why does the actor get a check for 86 cents for streaming royalties? It's the #1 show in America. What do you mean I'm only getting 86 cents? So there's no numbers that they can't see what their work is generating, like what the profit their work is generating. No. They just get these checks and they're like, oh, well, maybe it's right. Hopefully it's right. Do you know Jake Thomas? So Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
Her little brother.
Yes.
So he did a TikTok, and I seen it, and this is kind of what put things into perspective for me. He made a video about the strike on TikTok, and then he made a video after it.
Okay.
The video after it, he explains, he's like, everybody's, talking about the last video I made. He said, let me put things into perspective for you. He said, the last video I made on TikTok has made me more money than Lizzie McGuire reruns have made me the entire time Disney Plus has been a thing. He said, so I made more on one video in TikTok than I have made in the entire, 3 or 4 years that Disney Plus has been.
Supposed to get royalties off of that crap.
But it's like
all artists do, right?
Cents. It's like 2 cents, 3 cents. And that may be 100 streams,
And then imagine what the CEO of Disney's making.
Oh, well, that's the thing. They make plenty of money.
And they're not even. That's that is crazy. Like that is a big enough problem in itself, but like the AI thing,
Oh
that
yeah,
is crazy. Who comes up with this stuff?
it's like I mean I can see benefits to it, but to try to
Like
not
not
have to
having to
pay
hire.
somebody.
Yes, but you still need to pay those people. Like I understand that. Sure, it would be easier in the long run not having to block off a big old thing, and you could just like paste it in there, right? Photoshop that crap in there.
Hmm.
Sure, okay, sure, but like no,
You still need to pay them.
because these people are making millions of dollars off of one movie.
Hmm.
Like, sure, spending a couple million to make it, but making triple if it's a good movie,
Right.
making triple that. But you want to pay your actors 86 cents?
Right. That's the part that everyone just has to
Nah.
understand when it comes to this. So the reason I bring it up is because on the podcast we will be breaking down movies and talking about movies.
Mm,
And the reason that the second episode has taken so long to come out is because I wanted to make sure that I'm doing things right as it pertains to the strike.
right.
Because you don't want to scab is what they call it,
Okay.
where you like let's say all the actors are on strike and an actor's like, well, an up and coming actor was like, well, since nobody's taking roles, it's my time. That's a big no no. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do that because you want to support the movement of
Yeah, absolutely. Because the same thing's gonna happen to you,
exactly. So
if not
um,
worse, because you don't have the kind of money and power that these other actors have. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
and then you get basically like black labeled or blackballed or whatever,
Yeah,
and it's
blackball.
like you didn't stand with us, and now you can't book roles. Nobody's going to take you serious. So I had to deliberate. The first episode was filmed before they went on strike.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that one came out. It came out, I believe, like the day after the strike, but I had pre-recorded
Yeah,
it.
you were done with it.
I was already done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I decided to do this one, I wanted to make sure that this is something that's okay to do. So the first thing is I'm only going to be covering, older movies from now on
Okay.
until the strike is settled and,
Mm-hmm.
and the actors are getting what they deserve and stuff like that. Um, so only older movies, not promoting it
Mm-mm.
as far as you should go watch this movie. It's more
Yeah.
the podcast is more centered around the discussion that comes from
Mm-hmm.
the movie itself and the food that we make based on the movie.
Right.
So I did a little bit of research and I found out that it's okay to do a podcast in this context. There was a wonderful actress. She was on Superstore.
Okay.
She actually responded to me on Twitter and let
Oh.
me know that what I'm doing with the podcast is not scabbing and that it's fine to continue. And just try to avoid because technically critics, like people who review and give reviews of movies, they're
Right.
still able to do that.
Okay.
Um, you kind of want to avoid promotion is the
Yeah.
big thing. So
Yeah.
I won't be doing Barbie. I won't be doing Little Mermaid or
No. I
Oppenheimer.
haven't even I have no plans to even go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like honestly, and I didn't even know they were on strike for this stuff. I knew
Mm-hmm.
that something was happening, but I hadn't had the energy to
Yeah.
look into it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make that clear and clear that up before we got into this movie and started this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That we fully support the SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild of America and
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing right now, and we hope that they see, um, everything that they're fighting for come to fruition.
Yeah, because they didn't go through all of that. Like, could you imagine the struggle it took for them to get where they got for someone to use their face for free for the rest of their lives? A fake face that they made on the internet.
Yeah, that's not even them. So
that is, and they could be promoting such awful things. Mm-hmm.
That's like if you watch the episode, it's called Joan is Awful on Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Even if that's the only one you watch
it.
it's worth it to watch it to see what they could do with AI.
That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me.
but yeah, I just wanted to clear that up and make sure everyone is aware about what's going on with that. So unfortunately, we won't be doing any new movies
Mm-hmm.
anytime soon, in solidarity with them on that. But I hope you enjoy us watching the Cheetah Girls. Okay, so we just finished watching the Cheetah Girls, and eating our dinner. So first, I like to start off. We're going to talk about the food. How was the food?
Delicious.
Okay, so have you had capers before?
No,
Did
not
you
at all.
did you taste them? Like, what did you think?
I think so. I mean, like they're very flavorful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought they were good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've had them a couple of times in like pasta and stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
I've had it before. But so I'm sure now you know why we cooked that, right?
Gotta get Totos for wait. Come on, capers. We gotta get Totos for Daddy.
Yeah, yeah. So the dad, for some reason, was obsessed with capers, and she said, "You'll be swimming up to your ears in capers." So yeah, um, I, I I thought that would be a good tie-in. I was gonna do something with some hot sauce, but I was like, I don't know if Chelsea likes spicy, so
I'm more of a buffalo kind of girl. I don't know
okay.
about hot sauce. I used to eat it on school food, but
Yeah, I
you
mean,
needed it on school
you
food.
needed it. There was no flavor, but yeah. So like, this was perfect.
Mm.
But as far as the movie goes, when was the last time that you watched this movie that you
Um.
can think of?
Oh, to be honest, like completely honest,
Yeah.
like 3 years ago.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say the last time I watched it was like the day I got Disney Plus.
Literally, the day that came out on Disney Plus, I watched all three.
Yeah, I was like, I'm watching all of the Cheetah Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like the first thing. Like, that's the reason I bought Disney Plus subscription. I was like, I can watch it
Mm-hmm.
anytime I want to now.
My husband, there was a lot of judgment happening, but whatever. 20. Wait, how old was that? 25-year-old woman can watch Cheetah Girls if she wants to.
Right, exactly. I'm a 30-year-old man, and I'm watching the Cheetah Girls, and that's okay.
And we're enjoying every minute.
Like I said, my cheeks are hurting. I told you at the beginning of the movie, I was like, my cheeks are gonna be hurting from smiling so much.
Yeah.
It's just the nostalgia was just
Mm-hmm.
Now I will say, rewatching old Disney Channel movies will kind of you'll cringe a little bit.
So cringy. So, but in the best way, but also like there were some hard side eyes. Like,
Yeah,
where they do that at?
right, exactly. Like, so the we'll go ahead and talk about the language, like verbiage, slang, the cheetah chatter, as she as
Cheetah-licious.
oh my god, when she said that in her face when she was showing her mom the top, I was like, I can't take it. It's so cringy.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down cringealicious.
I said, wait, I lost my notes. I'm so sorry. Yep, I just said cheetah-licious. Like I knew we were coming
You
back
knew
to
you were gonna have
that.
to come back to it. Like, oh my god, it was driving me insane. Well, the cheetah everything, like
Mm-hmm.
tying cheetah into
The
the lingo.
lamps, the guitar strap,
Oh yeah, everything was cheetah. The girls that were
the yearbook
the
girls.
yearbook girls were
Yeah.
wearing cheetah chokers, like um, and then on the lingo too, like Galleria rhyming everything. Everything had a rhyme. I was like, oh girl, put it to rest.
Her
Put it
mom
to
was doing
rest.
it too.
Yeah, her mom was doing it too. Her mom was throwing in
We need another
cheetah
cheetah
lingo.
mama in this jiggy jungle.
Right. So, and back to the cheetah of it all, the outfits.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So, what about you? What were like what was your favorite cheetah outfit or cheetah girls outfit?
I think the jumpsuits will always hold a special place in my heart. Because one, we wore those to the concert that we went to, the Cheetah
Mm-hmm.
Girls concert. But also, it's just like they were, I don't know, they were just like the most iconic. And then the Cinderella outfits.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Cinderella outfits
Mm-hmm.
were just they were the cutest like girl group. Like they gave the most girl group out of all. Well, other than the jumpsuits,
Mm-hmm.
like those two are definitely the most iconic.
Yeah, those two are the only times that they're like super matchy too. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
other times, like they're like, yeah, they all have Cheeto incorporated in them, but the Cinderella outfit's the white in the cheetah, and then the jumpsuits, the different colors, and all like cheetah.
The color thing was
Yeah.
very smart of Disney for the jumpsuits, because every kid that's watching the movie could get like a they could choose a character. It's kind of like a Power Ranger. Which Power Ranger are you? Yeah, yeah, like we did. It was your color was associated with your favorite cheetah girl.
Yep.
And so if you were orange, you were Dorinda. If you're pink, you're Galleria. If you're blue, you're Aqua, and if you're purple, you're Chanel. But yeah, that and then one outfit I really do love is Chanel's girl power outfit with the cheetah bandana.
Oh yes.
I've always loved that. I used to draw, like when I used to draw when I was little, I would always try to draw her and draw that cheetah bandana and her curly hair. I just thought it was so. I just love it.
She's my favorite one out of the group anyway. Now
that you're older, yeah.
Like, and you see, because when we're younger, like 20 years ago, and this came out, we're like, okay, who am I most like, right? So me being like the blonde white girl, I'm gonna choose Dorinda, right?
Yeah.
But like looking back at the story in an adult's perspective, you're like, all right, she's the best one.
She's the best. She's the best singer, in my opinion. I mean,
yes. Well, also
everything is in our opinion, but she is the best singer. She carried the background vocals. She was also the nicest. Out of all of them.
She kept the group together. Like she was the glue.
She went and like after Galleria was rude to Dorinda about her outfit, she went and bought her clothes.
Cleaning poop off of Galleria's shoe.
Yeah.
Like she was keeping that,
and also sticking up for Galleria to the other girls when she knew she was wrong. And just really just like you said, she really was kind of like the glue to hold the whole group together.
Right.
Now, speaking of, you mentioned your favorite. So growing up, your favorite was Dorinda.
Yes.
Because you see yourself in them. My favorite was Aqua, but it was because I like the Southern thing. I like that she was like, she didn't care. She was like, you either you take care of it or I will. You know, I love that. And she was like all in her face when she did that. Like, and she did take care of it too. Which there is a progression in her character. Like in the next movie, she's totally different, which we'll get into because, by the way, guys, we're going to be doing the second one.
This will be a series. I'll be
back. We're gonna turn this into a series. But yeah, so we'll do the second and third movies, but she definitely changes throughout the series. But for some reason she was just my favorite, and I think it's because I always rooted for the underdog, and she was never anybody's favorite.
No, she really wasn't.
Like nobody that she would ask would be like, oh yeah, Aqua is my favorite. Aqua's my favorite. So I always went for the, I guess the one that nobody else wanted the most. I don't know why I was like that, but I did that with a lot of groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
also, everybody, like everybody needs their one.
Yeah.
You know. But also it's just so funny though, because it's like, in my opinion, she's like Raven Simone has a really, really good voice. Don't get me wrong, but like she was second for me, voice wise.
Vocally, yeah.
But also the 3LW, so you.
So and if you don't know, then maybe this isn't the right podcast for you, but if you don't know, the two of the Cheetah Girls are in a group separately, and that's Keely and Adrian. Aqua and Chanel are in 3LW. And so speaking on that, so we're veering off from the movie just a little bit.
Sorry.
But speaking of that, this movie created my love of girl groups in general, because I mean, I knew who they were before, like Destiny's Child and stuff like that. I knew them, but because of them, because of the Cheetah Girls, I learned about 3LW. I didn't know 3LW before the Cheetah Girls.
Honestly.
So I looked them up, from researching the Cheetah Girls. I'm like, oh, what is this? 3LW. This is Adrian or this is Chanel and Aqua. And then I learned about 3LW, and then from there it just grew into a love of girl groups. I love girl groups even to this day.
Like this is honestly like core memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're sitting here singing the songs like we knew, like we were just singing them yesterday.
Yeah, like you'll never forget these lyrics.
Ever.
Ever.
It's like burned.
So, did you have other topics like that you had came up with?
Um, yeah, like okay, so just watching this movie back 20 years later, and but also like talking about the like the side eyes, like this will never happen in real life. Like they're letting their teenage daughters, these are freshmen in high school, okay, freshmen, walk around New York City by themselves,
Yeah,
completely and utterly alone.
yeah. Like,
Girl,
and
what?
I know New York has like it is different in New York than in the South. Like
Mm-hmm.
we would never come from the South and go like our parents would not. Well, not our parents. They wouldn't have cared. But but normal kids' parents would not have let from the South go to New York on their own
No.
because they don't know how to navigate that. So
Yeah.
maybe there is a difference in like kids that grew up there. They know how to navigate the city.
Yeah, maybe it's a cultural difference.
Yeah, that
You know.
we just don't know about. But I agree. I feel like that is kind of young to
In
be
this
like,
day and time, like, are you
especially
kidding
now.
me?
Yeah, and this was 2003, so I mean it
Yeah.
was early. I mean it was before. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure crazy stuff has always been
Serial
happening,
killers
but
have always been around, and that's all
actually, I
I'm
feel like
gonna
there were
say.
more back then than
Yeah,
there are now because they get caught too
because there's
easily.
cameras
Yeah,
everywhere.
cameras everywhere.
Everybody's got a, like our watch, and you know.
Everything like it's hard for people to get away with
Mhm.
stuff now, but I definitely agreed with that point because you said it while we were watching it. Like they're just all over New York without any parents,
Like their
like
parents are just like, all right, bye.
hailing
Like,
cabs
yeah,
and
go ahead and get in this taxi alone with this random man. Go ahead. It'll be fine. I'll see you in a little bit.
see you in a little while. Um,
Oh, also I had this written down too. Just like straying away from that topic, but I feel like for Cinderella, like that song is all about like, you know, not depending on someone else or
mhm.
mainly like a man, right?
Yeah,
Because they're girls. But I feel like this was definitely the start of Disney being like feminism. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
like all the Disney princesses, like their prince comes and saves them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I feel
hmm
like this was a really big like stepping stone for Disney being like I know this isn't like a princess movie, but them adding that in there was like a big step for them being like,
Bashing their own movie.
yeah, like yeah, like
I don't want to be like Cinderella.
girls don't have to depend on a man or anybody else. Like you
hmm
can think of yourself as that kind of savior. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love the message behind that song.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're on Cinderella, it is, I got to make sure to throw the fun facts in there.
Yes.
Cinderella is not an original Cheetah Girl song, it's a cover.
I feel like you've told me that before. I
Yeah.
feel like that we've discussed it.
There's like 5 incarnations of the song. I don't know who
Mm-hmm.
the original is. I know that one of them is, it's a girl group called Play,
Okay.
and they did, Cinderella first. The Cheetah Girls is the superior version of the
Well,
song.
obviously, listen to it.
But one thing I don't like, Cinderella is
Mm-hmm.
not available on streaming. You
What
cannot
the
stream the song. You can't
heck?
stream the whole first soundtrack. You can only hear the live versions of the
Ah,
song from the concert that we went to.
Disney, do
Yeah, like
better. It is 2023, and we want to listen to 20-year-old songs, please.
we need to hear Cinderella in the car. What
On
does it hit like in the
repeat,
car?
okay, when we need very strong reminders that we don't need no man.
Exactly.
Okay?
So, speaking of the songs too, what is your favorite song from the movie? They only have 4
Oh,
songs in this one too, which is different.
I would have Cinderella's up there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just
hmm
so catchy. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, dang. But the finale song, like they always got to make the finale song good. But
hmm
Cinderella is up there.
Yeah, I would say Cinderella is probably my favorite too.
Yeah.
I like them all. Together We Can is probably my least
Oh
favorite.
yeah.
It's just
But
I don't know. It's like Shoot the Moon, Stop the Rain, Ride a Hurricane. It's very
yeah,
repetitive and
that was
kind of
very
corny.
2000s esque,
Yeah,
like movie, like kind of song. It's super corny. Super
yeah,
corny.
I agree. So I wanted to ask you,
Mhm.
there's a couple of questions about our favorite fearless leader,
Oh, jeez.
Galleria Garibaldi.
Love her. Love her.
So, do you think Galleria is the villain?
Yeah.
So, in watching it as a child, definitely, I feel like we all shared a passionate hate for for Galleria.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Because
I
we
mean,
all know a girl like her.
but we love her.
Mm-hmm.
We love her as Raven,
Mm-hmm.
but as Galleria, it was just
Ugh.
like really, like, oh.
Girl, like, get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of
And
your
then I
attitude.
thought maybe watching it over, I would be like,
Okay,
no,
I
I
can
get her.
relate.
I get where she's coming
No.
from. Not until the end, when Jackal wanted to throw those masks on them, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I get you there. But had you been respectful up to the point where they
Right.
could actually listen and hear what you're trying to tell them,
Right.
you know,
And also, I feel like the other three felt the exact same way, but her being like, nah, we're out. And like her not even looking at them. You know
yeah,
what I mean? She didn't even look at them. And she's like, nah. They were like, of course they're going to be defensive and be like, excuse me, like, you know that we're here, right?
right.
Like,
We have a say. We're in this group with you. Like
mm-hmm,
we have a say in this.
mm-hmm. I feel like that would have been if they would have just had a conversation or even like eye contact and was like, you know,
Yeah, I agree. Like watching it 20 years later,
mm-hmm.
I feel like I still feel the same. Although I kind of get some of the points she was making. I feel like the delivery could have just been
Oh,
so I
absolutely.
mean, if you think about it, if you want to be in Destiny's Child and Beyonce, which obviously is the leader of Destiny's Child,
Right.
if she says we don't need to be talking with our mouth full, that's not classy, that's not our
Mm-hmm.
brand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to go with what Beyonce's saying, but
Right.
I'm sure she's not, rolling her neck
Like,
and.
listen. Listen. But also, that's famous Beyonce. If it was like Galleria version Beyonce, if she said it like that, you'd be like,
Yeah, like, girl, I don't care. Who are
excuse
you?
me? Like, that's kind of rude. You could have said that a little differently.
Yeah, it's definitely all
Mm.
about the delivery.
Oh,
Um,
speaking of Beyonce, like when the movie first started and Aqua brought out her hot sauce, I was like she's the original hot sauce in my bag.
oh yeah,
Like the original, because Beyonce's like got hot sauce in my bag
yeah.
swag.
But you know what else is funny and also reminds me of Beyonce? It's so weird
Mm.
we're talking about Beyonce on this movie, but first, well, two things. Raven was the Beyonce of Disney Channel. I think that's everybody knows that and
Uh
agrees
huh.
on that.
Absolutely.
But also, at the very beginning of the movie, because you said it, and it reminded me, she was the Beyonce of the performers of them performing, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
because she was still dancing and doing everything while everything was going to shit behind her.
Yeah.
Like they were all tripping over each other and falling, and Raven Beyonce was still in the front performing. Have you ever seen? I think it was Soldier. Might have been Lose My Breath performance, and like
Mm-hmm.
Michelle falls and Kelly and Beyonce just keep performing.
They're like,
It's like, I mean, we got
sorry,
it.
dog.
The show's got to go on,
There's
and
still people here watching us. You take care of you.
take care of you. Get up,
Yeah.
dust yourself off, and let's keep it
We'll
moving.
check on you after.
Right. This is live. So. But that really, I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely the Beyonce of the group, because she's like, I'm gonna keep. I don't know what y'all got going on back there, but I'm gonna look good and sound good.
Y'all handle what you need to handle, and
Right.
I'm gonna handle what I need to handle.
Do you think Dorothea, Galleria's mom, is the villain, or was a villain?
No.
Not at all. When I was younger, I thought so. But.
An irresponsible parent, a little bit, but that's another
So
conversation.
talk about it. What happened that made you feel like that?
Like, okay, they're walking around New York by themselves. Like, okay, I get it. It's a movie. I'm gonna let it go. like also letting them go to the meeting themselves. Like I understand that that was a point in the movie for them to be like, oh, she's over mommy. No, the lawyer needs to look in that contract. No, your mother needs to go. You are 14 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's about how old I was freshman year.
Yeah.
I was about 14.
No, I agree. Like, at that point when she said, I'm going to let you guys go to this meeting alone, I was like,
girl,
no,
what?
You cannot let them go alone. And then that's when he tried to prey on them and was like, this is what you're going to be doing.
And you see how creepy those men were.
Yeah, they were so creepy.
So creepy. And that one guy, like the one giving them the masks all up in their face. All up in their face. Like, boy, get back. Get out my face.
Back it up.
Like, no, who lets their 14-year-olds go to... No, irresponsible. Next.
Yeah, so I agree. She was very irresponsible in that aspect. She was, at the beginning, though, she was trying to protect them. Yeah. And when you're younger, you watch it and you're like, girl, just let them. They want to be famous. Like, this is their big shot. But her intention was like, I know how this plays out. Like, you're going to get...
Because she even said she had a modeling agency and it turned out to be a scam. Like, now, I do think that, like, maybe go with them, see what's going on, see if it's a scam, but don't let them go see if it's a scam themselves.
Right.
Like,
they're 14 years old.
They are 14 years old. They could have been human trafficked. Are you kidding me?
No, I definitely agree with that. I don't think she was the villain either. Like, I feel like she just, when you're a kid, you watch it and you feel like that. But so I did want to point out something that I learned fairly recently, which was very surprising to me. This, and it may not be the first, but I believe it was. This movie was also the first movie that I'm aware of on Disney Channel that featured a trans actress.
Really?
Drinka.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no clue until
no
recently.
idea. That is like very, very inclusive for
and
the
ahead
year.
Of its time.
Yes. For the year that this came out, way ahead of its time.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
So I thought that was really cool when I learned that out.
That. Had no idea.
I would have had no idea.
No inkling.
So as far as the movie goes, I was fighting the urge the entire time not to recite every single line.
Word for word.
Word for word. I promise you, because I used to walk to school. I don't know if you remember when I lived where I lived and I could walk to school. Yeah. So when I used to walk to school because it's a walk is like, oh my God, this is taking forever. I used to recite this movie in my head, like from the beginning. Together We Can, like started from Together We Can, them sitting there, then going to the walking on the street trying to hail the taxi to the next scene, like in my head I would recite it. I was weird. Okay.
That wasn't weird. You were a child.
I was a child that watched this movie 25,000 times.
This was our jam. This was our,
So before you could even buy the movie, I believe, I recorded it on like a VCR.
Smart.
So that way I could just watch it as many times as I wanted to.
For free.
And then eventually I got the DVD and
we
the
got the soundtracks.
Oh my God, we had like 15 copies of that thing because we wore them out.
Do you remember that we had like our own folders? Because I would only see you on the weekends, but I would see you every weekend. We had our own folders with our own songs that we decided to write. And
I was wondering if you were going to bring it up.
Yes,
I was like, okay, we got to talk about it.
No, we had our own folders with our own little songs that we used to write, and I would have to go back to my dad's during the week. And we would practice all week long and then come back the next weekend and then practice together.
And then we practiced together. And we actually, you guys, we recorded a 3-song demo. This was our CD. Yeah. We were 3LK, 3 little kids, after 3LW. Okay? 3LK, 3 little kids.
Hey, they were good.
The songs, we're not going to sing them because...
Absolutely not.
I barely have a podcast voice, let alone...
I'm just a guest.
Let alone a singing voice. But the songs were I Need You. So I Need You...
Oh, that was good.
I Need You. So
That was a bop.
Listen, I think our parents did something to our dogs because there's no way that all three of us lost our dogs in like the same week. But we wrote
No way.
we wrote, we wrote a song about losing our dogs, and it was called "I Need You,"
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 3 words long.
Oh,
Okay,
and we had this little, like that little lap thing where it had the
it made the
beats on it.
beats. Yes. Okay, so we had another song. It was
Wanna fly through the sky.
yeah,
No, it was called Fly or something like that.
just fly away.
Yeah, okay.
But that one was a little bop.
That was a bop. That was a bop.
We wrote a little bop.
Yes.
And I still know the words, but I'm not singing it. I'll sing it to you when we turn the podcast
We'll turn
off.
the mics off. I'm sorry. That's some secrets we'll take to our grave.
So, and then there was another one that was like Cheetah Girls related.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
I don't really
remember
that one that much, but and then the other one, which we did on the little beat machine, which I think me and you only did that one.
I think so, because
Savannah
was
there.
only with us sometimes.
And so we did it at Nana and Papa's on the little beat machine,
on
and
TJ's
it was
computer.
You remember, and it was Think About You 24/7.
Oh,
that was a good one, and that beat was so well. I mean, I'm thinking of my like 10, 11-year-old self thinking about it being a hot beat, but I mean, it may have been.
It was hot when we were 11.
Okay, listen, and now TJ would not have lied to us, and he was like, "This is good."
Yes, he would not have lied to our little fragile 11-year-old hearts.
Right. He would not have lied to us. He told us that it was good, and we're sticking by that.
Yeah, we can't ask him now.
We can't ask him now, so.
No, we can't ask him, so.
He's no longer with us.
We laughed through our trauma.
We laughed through the trauma. But yeah, so we did have the little group, and I do remember the folder because we had like it was a club. It was kind of like a club.
Yes, and nobody else could get in. It was very exclusive.
It was very exclusive. There was only we didn't go through members or like new members coming in or out. It was just us three. It was the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we were very serious.
And then one day we just never did it again.
No. Well, we saw each other a little less.
Yeah, we started seeing each other a little less, and then we just got a little older, I think.
Yeah.
And
realized how cringy we were.
I just had to pretend like I wasn't watching the Cheetah Girls every day.
Had to make sure that closet stayed invisible for a while.
Oh my god, my invisible closet.
Oh no.
Okay, and then when the second one came out, that's my movie.
Really?
That one is
the
my
second's
movie.
Your favorite?
The second is my favorite.
It was good.
When they go this, okay, we will get into that.
Yeah, that's stay tuned for Cheetah series episode 2.
Yeah. The Cheetah Chronicles, if you will.
Yep, that's it. That's the one.
It's gonna be Cheetah-licious. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We had such a good time recording it.
My cheeks hurt.
My cheeks are hurting from smiling at this movie so much.
Mm-hmm. But that Alfredo was... Wait, what did the kids say? Bussin'. I was bussin'.
The Alfredo was delicious. So join us again next time. Chelsea, it was such a pleasure having you over.
Thanks for having me.
You got to come like way more. I know we live so far away from each other, but...
Yeah, I have 2 whole children.
and the kids. Oh, and I wanted to ask you, would you let your kids watch the Cheetah Girls?
Oh, absolutely. Adeline, she's my 4, almost 5-year-old. She would, oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
She would love it.
She is way prissier than me, and that's hard, because I'm like, girliest of the girls, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she asked me today, we weren't going anywhere, she's like, can I put on some lipstick? Like, you do you, girl. Just don't get it on my carpet, thank you.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, we are going to wrap this one up. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to watch the second one.
I know. I'm so excited.
But if you guys like what you listen to, make sure you follow, subscribe wherever you subscribe to your podcast, and we will see you in the next video.
Oh, yeah.
Or the next podcast, because there is no video.
Yet.
Yet. It's coming.